Whoa. What's going on, everybody? How are you? It's Mistress Carrie. Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room. Whew, I'm so sorry I'm late. It's been a day. Hold on. I am an absolute mess. I have so much to tell you guys. Sometimes it feels like I was in the war room yesterday, and sometimes it feels like I haven't seen you guys in like a month, and I have to apologize for being late and completely unprepared for tonight's war room. Hold on. And the other thing is, the wood stove's going in here because I don't know if you guys knew, Wednesday, come here. I got to turn the PodCam on for you. Come here. There's a wood stove in here, and it is just kicking. All right, say hi, everybody. See, there you are. Say hi. Say hi. Woo! All right, I have no idea why the website stuff is literally everywhere. Like, what is going on? Why is this all over the place? Oh, my God, I told you guys today was a day. You know how you just have those days? Today was a day. Come here, Wednesday. Come say hi to everybody. Come here. Come over here. Oh, my God. This is episode 108, and you would think by now, she already pulled the arm off of the pig, by the way. Come here. Show everybody what you did with the pig. Come here. Come on. Whew, I just need a minute. You know what I need? I need a cocktail. I think that's going to help me out today because today, like I said, has been a day. And the wood stove is kicking here in the war room, and it's about 1,000 degrees in here. And I'm sweating to death. Oh, my God. Tonight's going to be one of those nights where you're going to be like, remember episode 108? It's going to be one of those. All right. First of all, can you guys hear me okay? Because I feel like I can't hear myself at all. Oh, my God. Absolute disaster of a day. Wednesday's not here. I don't know what the hell is going on. There we go. Yeah. Let's just take a deep breath. Okay, I'm good. Now I'm going to make a drink. We'll talk about what I'm drinking in a little while. But I busted out the good stuff for this sad anniversary. Part of the reason why I was late was I was running around looking for a Coke. I don't drink a lot of soda, and I couldn't have the drink I wanted today without having a Coke, and I had to go searching into the storage of the war room to find a Coke. Okay, we're all good. Breathe, Debbie says. All right, sounds good. Everybody says, all right. Today's one of those days where you want to start the show over again. Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room, everybody. Oh, it's not working. I need a drink. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. One more thing. Okay. Take 3. Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room, everybody. I'm Mistress Carrie. Thank you for joining me every Tuesday night at 8:30 here in the War Room, which is where we've been meeting. This is our 108th time since a long time ago, March 14th of this year. I already feel better. Thank you guys very much for being patient with me. We got a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on. The first thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is War Room related. People with backstage passes know I have been up extremely late over the last few nights working on a lot of stuff, including the website, which we'll talk about tonight. But I wanted to let you guys know that I downloaded, categorized, organized, and uploaded the entire Cocktails in the War Room episode catalog onto my YouTube channel now. You know what else I noticed going through all that footage? Sometimes my lipstick and I get into a fight. So now, if you are new to the War Room, if you weren't there on the first episode, I've put all of the episodes up on the YouTube channel. They're all there. They are all numbered. They are all dated. There might be some spelling mistakes, and I apologize for that. But there's 108 episodes as of tonight is 108, and they are all up there. And when I started going through like the first few days and started going through, I think it was episode 39 when I got the tripod with the light. And that was like the most technologically advanced thing that the War Room had ever seen. The episodes are really funny to go back and watch. And I really wanted to make sure that I archived them all. When we made the switch on episode 80, when Mike Shue came in for the last nightly War Room before we switched it to a weekly thing, all those Facebook videos, they only existed on Facebook. So they didn't save on my phone or anything. So the entire archive of Cocktails in the War Room was at Facebook's kind of whim. And so I took the time and went and downloaded all the old episodes so that I have the files, I own the files, and then I put them all up on YouTube so that eventually, probably over the next couple of weeks, I will get the entire archive up on the website, which is the end goal. But I needed to get them on YouTube first, and they're all up there now. So Frank says, I have not had a soda since 2004. I don't drink soda all that often. We've talked about it in the War Room in the past that I love like Polar Seltzer, and that's basically what I drink when I want something bubbly. But I needed a Coke tonight, and we'll talk about that. And so I had to go hunting in the War Room for a Coke, and I finally found one. So there you go. So let me see what I have to talk to you guys about, because there is a ton. She's in there, I think. We're looking for Wednesday. We don't know where the hell Wednesday went. Oh, wait. Now I know why everything's weird. No, I don't. Hold on. What's going on? I don't know. I'm having technical difficulties over here. So that was one of the projects that I've been working on, is getting all of the War Room episodes up and running. And they're all up there, and they're really funny. And I started getting comments on the YouTube channel when people started going back, because if you subscribe to the Mistress Carrie YouTube channel, you're getting alerts when I'm putting up new videos, which I apologize if you've been getting these alerts, because I must have uploaded like 90 episodes of the War Room up on the YouTube channel over the last few days. So, but it's awesome that they're all there and they're all organized and they're all in one place. And it was really fun to kind of go back and rewatch some of them and whatever. But I've been doing a ton of stuff with the computer and working really hard the last few days on a bunch of stuff. And I was in the basement and I'm digging around archives and looking for all this stuff and Rubbermaid tubs. And then all of a sudden I looked up and I went, oh my God, the show's going to start in like 10 minutes. And then I started running around trying to get the War Room all set up. So don't worry. Mark says, sorry, I'm late. So was I. Don't even worry about it. You need one every once in a while. Audra, I think, is talking about the Coke. So there you go. Okay. So there's a lot to talk about. The first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the website, which is now alive. It's been forever that I feel like I've been telling you guys that we were building the website. And it launched quietly for the fan club. The Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass holders, they get everything first. So they got notified and have been able to shop in the online store secretly for the last 24 hours before anybody else had a chance to go in. And so now you can go to mistresscarrie.com and you can check out the website and you can check out everything that's going on. I did have some stuff up on the screen, but I wanted to fill you guys in on some of the things that you'll be able to find on the website, which has been a labor of love and a significant learning curve for me. And it's not perfect yet. I know there's going to be some web developers that are like, wait, this doesn't look right. And your pretty links are weird. And yeah, we're still working out some bugs with stuff. But for the most part, the website is up and running and highly functional. So some of the things you'll be able to find in there, like I said, the podcast and Cocktails in the War Room archive are going to live on the website. I don't have all the War Room episodes up on the website yet, but they are all up on the YouTube channel. But the entire podcast is up there. Every sit rep, every after action report, every episode, including the new one that's going to launch at midnight, will be up there. So that's up there. If you look at the website, you will also see a thing called extras, and there's a lot of stuff in the extras folder. One of the things that's in there is an events calendar. And I know that back in the day with the radio station, we used to always have all of the concerts and everything that was going on up on the calendar so that we made it super easy for you guys to get concert information and links to buy tickets, and that we had all of the dates and all of the updated info, all the charity events, all of that stuff was all in one place to make it super easy. And that is what the calendar is. So obviously, we don't have a lot of concerts scheduled right now, but what we have been getting a lot of is live stream concerts. So if you go to the event calendar that's on mistresscarrie.com, a lot of those live streaming concerts are up there with the links and all of the details so that you can, watch live music at home and stream it and support some of your favorite bands. So that's up there. The blog is up there. And one of the first posts in the blog is the dictionary, which for anybody that is new to Cocktails in the War Room, is anybody new tonight? Is anybody new to the War Room on episode 108 that's never been here before? There's a lot of inside jokes, and we wanted to make it super easy for you to be able to catch yourself up with what's going on in the War Room with the War Room family and all the lingo. And so I asked everybody with backstage passes to put their heads together and come up with a list of all of the terms that we use in the War Room all the time so that we could put a glossary together. And then I don't know who it is, so I'm sorry that I'm not giving you credit, but someone suggested calling it the Dictionary after the Bag of Dicks episode with Mike Shue. So the Dictionary is up on the website. And if you think that there's stuff that we need to add to it, please let me know. That is up there. Then there is an area for the galleries, which are photo galleries. And the only thing that's up there right now is the artist archive, and it's not completed yet. But my winter project is to get all of my photo galleries, my 29-year archive of photos up on the website. So that is a work in progress. Then there is, God, there's so much stuff. Then, of course, there's the store. Now, one of the things that everybody's been asking for, if you were not able to get the original Cocktails in the War Room t-shirts, the t-shirts are back. I promised everybody that bought the original run that those would stay original. The Don't Lick Anything Weird and Wash Your Damn Hands shirts. So again, I went to everybody with backstage passes and we went back and forth about what should be the back of the new War Room shirts. And I am hoping that you guys love what we selected. There were a lot of choices. I went back and forth. I had to make the final decision. And so the new back that T-shirt Brian is working feverishly to fill the order of all of the War Room shirts says, "I'm just here for the blueberry cobbler." If you don't know what that means, read the dictionary and you will know. So the Cocktails in the War Room shirts are back. The hoodies are here, finally. The beanies are here. I brought some of the stuff up, actually. Magnets, which are very cool. I want to tell you guys this story because you know how smell is associated with so many of our memories? Like you smell like your grandmother's perfume or a certain cookie around the holidays, or like there's just certain smells that are tied so directly to your memory bank. Actually, I think I talked about this with our podcast guest this week, who we'll talk about in a minute. So when I started working on everything to do with the website and the online store, and I started calling people that we used to do a lot of work with at WAF. And one of the people that I called was this woman named Tori, who helped WAF produce all of the bumper stickers for decades. All the WAF bumper stickers, the commemorative stickers. And so I called her and I said, I want to make Mistress Carrie bumper stickers. And so I worked with her, and today in the mail call, actually, some of the bumper stickers came in, which are part of the sticker pack that you can buy on the website. And so one of the stickers is these black, white, and purple Mistress Carrie stickers. What I realized when I opened the package is that this vinyl smell, this bumper sticker smell, I don't know if it's the sticky part, I don't know if it's the ink on the vinyl. It brought me to tears today. No, I'm not kidding. Because I never realized it until I've been away from the smell for so long, that this is what the WAAF offices smelled like. Because they were just bumper stickers everywhere. And they were just constantly, we called this a brick. It comes sealed. I don't know if it's 100 or however many it is, but because I spent so much time on the street team at AAF before I was a DJ, it was my job to hand out bumper stickers at concerts and stuff and to do all the promotions. And I can't tell you, it's got to be in the millions, how many bumper stickers I've handed out in my career. And this smell is so closely associated with the radio station for me that when I opened the box and cracked open the first brick of the stickers and I smelled it, my eyes welled up because I was like, oh my God, that's what WAF smelled like. I mean, it smelled like farts and it smelled like stale beer and it smelled like a bunch of other stuff too. But this is the smell of the radio station for me. And it's so weird that this many months later, I get to smell it again. I know it seems so weird, but it's one of those things. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? That like those smells that are so ingrained in that part of your brain that are just associated with memory. I figured it smelled like weed because of shoe, Sean says. Yeah. The 90s were dope at AAF. Such a shame what happened in the last. I know, Benny. I appreciate that. Or booze because of LB. Need that in a candle, says Amanda. Oh my God, if there were a candle that smelled like bumper stickers. It smells so good. All right. So anyway, I brought some of the stuff in. So this is one of the bumper stickers that I'm super excited about. It's really weird to have a bumper sticker with my name on it that doesn't have WAF on it too, which was another really strange realization when I saw them today and opened up the package. I totally love the way that the magnets came out. This is like a magnet brick. There's like 30 of them in there. It's kind of heavy, but I wanted to show you guys what these look like too. So yeah, it was kind of a strange day smelling the bumper stickers, but the online store is up and it's got a ton of stuff in there. And I really hope that you guys love the back of the War Room t-shirts. One of the new additions to the store, which we didn't get to make last time, is there are now ladies cut Cocktails in the War Room t-shirts that have the same back, the same everything, except they're more fitted for a woman's figure. I don't mind wearing guys t-shirts, but I'd rather wear girls t-shirts. And I didn't make them last time because we were trying to keep it as simple as we could to raise the money for Mass Military Support Foundation. But this time around, I worked with T-Shirt Brian and tried on a bunch of different women's t-shirts. And so we printed Cocktails in the War Room ladies tees, they're called on the website. And then there's also a regular Mistress Carrie t-shirt that has this logo on the front right here. And then it has this in big letters across the back. And that's available in ladies tees as well. So you can get that on the website. What else is up there? There's a bunch of stuff. I put together a Rock Your Office pack, which I thought would be a really good gift to buy somebody that you work with or somebody that you're friends with and you want to send them something cool. It's got a Mistress Carrie coffee mug, a set of pens, a mouse pad, stickers, a magnet. It's got like a little bit of everything kind of put together in one little pack. And so that's in there. Let's see, what else is new? I mean, there's a bunch of stuff in there now that's new. The pint glasses, the shot glasses are new. The coffee mugs are new. There's 2 different mouse pads. There's 2 different color Christmas ornaments. The beanies are new. There's all black beanies with the Mistress Carrie logo, no pom-pom. Some people like the pom-pom, some people don't. And then there's the purple and black beanie with the pom-pom that's got the Mistress Carrie logo on it as well. Good question, Bish. When is this stuff going to get shipped out? So there's a few more things that I am waiting to have arrive. And literally, T-shirt Brian is like printing T-shirts 24 hours a day, printing hoodies. I'm going to pick up a shipment of T-shirts by the end of the week, and I should have everything in-house by next week. I'm going to start shipping what I can right away. But I promise you, no matter how many late nights I have to do it, that whatever you get, you will get before Christmas. Whatever you order for somebody, they will get before Christmas. So my hope is in the next week to 10 days, stuff is going to start getting shipped out. Like I said, I'm only waiting. I know the beanies, I'm tracking the beanies right now. They'll be here in the next couple days. The T-shirts, the ladies' tees, and the hoodies are all almost done. And I believe everything else I have in house. So I can definitely start shipping stuff. One thing that you will notice on the website, I put a lot of effort into sourcing as much American-made stuff as I could and having as much of it produced locally as I could. So you will see on the store, all of the T-shirts are made in the United States and they're printed in New England because T-shirt Brian's printing them. He printed the hoodies, but it was really hard, especially right now because of so many companies are using their material to make masks that I was having a hard time finding a black zip-up hoodie that was made in the U.S., so I'm still sourcing those. The beanies are embroidered by a veteran-owned company, as are the patches that you can get as well that you can put on your motorcycle jacket or on your heavy metal jean jacket or your gear bag for the range, whatever it is that you want to put a patch on. Those are embroidered by a veteran-owned company. So I tried really hard to have as many of the products be made in the USA as I could. I wasn't successful in every time, but I'm trying really hard to make sure that there are as many American-made products in the store as I can. URL of the website, mistresscarrie.com. I went old school and simple. So I am working on new stuff. I also tried really hard to make sure that there were products in the store for every price range and that there were things that you could get kids like stickers and pens and magnets and beanies. I am starting to work on getting little kid stuff made, including baby onesies, because I need to see little babies in black Mistress Carrie onesies and little kids T-shirts too. So that stuff is all coming. But I really wanted to get the website up and to have you guys be able to send stuff to people that live around the country or to be able to get your own stuff and to be able to get it before the holidays. So would you do wallets, Ed? I would do anything. Part of the thing is sourcing them and being able to get them from a reputable company that you know once you start making them that you can reorder them and that the quality is always going to be good. Everything that I've had made, I have asked for samples and kind of put it through the ringer on my own. T-shirt Brian was laughing actually because I made him send me all these samples of hoodies because I wanted to analyze the zippers. I don't know about you guys, but I hate it when I get a cheap hoodie and you know how the zipper is like wavy? It drives me crazy. And I wear hoodies all the time and I wanted to make sure that these hoodies had a good zipper and that I tried on a bunch of different ladies' tees because I hate it when you wear a ladies' tee and it's too short in the torso and your muffin top's always hanging out or you bend over to get anything and your underwear pops out, your jeans. So I was kind of a psycho about getting shirts and hoodies that were comfortable, that had a good zipper on them. The beanies, the knit hats, Donna, embroidered by a veteran-owned company, a retired Marine, owns the embroidery company. Where is the Wednesday merch? It's coming, Sean. That's been one of the things that, and if you guys can steer me in the right direction, there's a contact feature on the website that you can send me direct correspondence through the website. I'm looking for some really cool dog stuff that I want to make for Wednesday. And the problem that I've been finding is that a lot of the stuff that I've sourced online hasn't been very good quality. Like the little handkerchiefs and stuff, like they were just really cheap and I knew they weren't going to hold up. And I've been putting stuff through the Wednesday test. And if it frays and it kind of rips apart, I don't want to make it because I don't want to sell stuff that, YKK zippers are the best quality. Ron, it's a YKK zipper on the hoodie. I know my zippers, bro. So I'm still sourcing dog stuff and I'm sourcing the baby stuff and the little kid stuff, but, okay. Are the chick shirts long? Yes, they are longer in the torso. They're not as long as those t-shirts that the Duluth Trading Post sells. You know, those girl shirts that are super, super long. They're not that long, but they're long. And I always get the girl shirts like a size bigger than I would normally wear because sometimes they shrink. I want to tell you guys this story and I'm not going to point her out by name just because I don't want to do that. But, I got an email last night from somebody with a Mistress Carrie backstage pass. And she sent me a private note and she was like, and the reason why I'm telling you this story is that if you have your own website for any reason, if your company has a website, it's something that you might not think about, but it mattered to her enough to send me a note about it. She thanked me for the detailed descriptions of everything in the store because she's visually impaired. And so she has a computer that reads the descriptions. Imagine being visually impaired and trying to buy things and not being able to see them. I mean, it's hard enough buying stuff online because you're not able to touch it and feel it and kind of see what's going on. She's buying it online, visually impaired. And she sent me this really sweet note thanking me for making sure that the descriptions for the products in the online store were specific. And she liked the fact that it had the materials in there and that it had the dimensions on there because that allowed her to be able to figure out how big things were and what they were going to feel like. And I thought, you know what? As a person that is not visually impaired, it's something that I didn't even really think of. And it's one of the reasons why with the photo galleries, that I'm going to go through and label all of the photos, because if you are visually impaired and you're going around a website, you want to know what's going on. And if you put photos up with no descriptions, then they don't know what it is that's on their screen. And a lot of people that are visually impaired aren't completely blind. So they know something's there, but they can't quite tell. And they have the assistance of the computer to read it for them. So I got this email from this woman that was like, thank you for putting all the descriptions on in the store. And I just thought that I would pass that along in case for any reason your company has a website that maybe as you're updating your website or your podcast, whatever it is, just think about what it would be like if something were reading it to you. I am seeing a lot of I'm sorry messages. And I know that you guys have conversations during the show. And I don't want anybody to think I'm being rude because I didn't see the post about what's going on. But everybody in the war room is doing what you guys always do, which is wrap your arms around somebody that's having a hard time. So I know that somebody is having a hard time. So send them some love. I'm just sorry that I don't realize what's going on right now. I'm sorry. Especially considering they cost so much today, not necessary to dump them. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the comments tonight, guys. So I wanted to tell you about that in the store. My mom passed due to COVID. Oh my God, Diva, I'm so sorry. It comes up over and over again. The fact that, it's so hard to properly mourn and pay tribute to people that we've lost. And, Diva, I'm so sorry. I'm glad that you're here. And Brianna says, Rosie lost her mom to pancreatic cancer. Whether it's to COVID or whether it's to something else, it's just a really hard time, not only because of the holidays, but just with how difficult this year has been. And so many people are trying to use the holidays as a way to bring some joy into this otherwise horrible year. I know people were putting their Christmas trees up early, and then to lose somebody that you love, like your mom, is just really, really difficult. So obviously everybody here in the War Room is thinking of you and is here if you need anything. And we love you, and we're sending you one of those virtual hugs that we're allowed to have now. So somebody's asking about masks. I've actually been looking for them, but I'm going to be super picky about masks because I don't want to make them that are a novelty and you're not going to actually wear them. So I've been looking for masks that are actually good. And when I find them and can source them out, I will make them. So that's in the works as well. But there's a lot going on. The website is at least up. One of the things that I love about the website is that if you click on one of the podcast episodes, a player pops up at the bottom and the episode starts playing for you right away. So as you're kind of moving around the website, the player is there at the bottom, which I love. It's also got my Instagram feed embedded at the bottom. There's just a lot of great features. It's not super complicated of a website. I'll tell you this story really quickly because it's resolved. But one of the reasons why I'm always talking about the Backstage Pass holders is that not only do they get access to exclusive stuff, but they're like a little support group for me. And so I told everybody with Backstage Passes yesterday that the website was up, and I gave them, there's a Backstage Pass only code that you can use to shop for 15% off everything in the store. And so the Backstage Pass holders were shopping in the store before anybody else. And there was a little bit of a problem calculating shipping, which I have resolved. But the postage rates for the first 10 sales on the website were out of control. And it wasn't doing what it was supposed to do, which is to box all of the different things that you buy in the store into the biggest box necessary, but the smallest and cheapest postage. And it was charging individual shipping rates for literally everything. And so the shipping rates were like $70. People were messaging me going, what is going on with your shipping rates? It's been resolved. It's been fixed. I am sending everything priority mail so you can have tracking, which makes it a lot easier. When you put a store together and you use a credit card company to process the charges, they have certain requirements. And one of the requirements was that I send everything trackable so that I could show you that your packages were delivered and to make it easier if something got lost to be able to track it down. So everything is being sent priority mail. So when you make an order, you get an email. When it gets shipped, you get another email, and then you get a tracking number and all of that kind of stuff. And those technologies for things like Amazon are not a big deal. Those technologies for Mistress Carrie, doing it by herself with Infinite Design, which by the way is the company that built my website for me, who are amazing. It was a little challenging to make sure that it all worked right. So it's been a labor of love, but it's up and it's running. And I'm really excited to be able to tell you guys that MistressCarrie.com is finally alive because it has not been easy. Michael wants to know, what's the address of the store? Just go to MistressCarrie.com. And there's a thing right at the top that says shop. Brianna's reminding everybody that if you're having a hard time right now, if you're isolated, if you're sad, that there's a Cocktails in the War Room family Facebook group. And so people get together outside of the Tuesday night Cocktails in the War Room episodes and they hang out together. So you can go and hang out with the fam when I'm not around. So there you go. Okay. Let's, speaking of family, talk about episode 26. Whoa, did I get a reaction out of episode 26 of the podcast last week? Holy crap. Reaction instantaneous. Podcast episode went up at midnight. By 12:15, I was getting messages and tweets going, oh my God, LB's voice. It's so good to hear him. What did you guys think about the episode? He's been very quiet. He has been recovering from his latest surgery. And I was so excited to be able to get him on the podcast so that you guys could hear how he was doing, because it's one of the most common questions I've gotten since the radio station went off the air was, have you talked to LB? How is he? Is he okay? And Mark, exactly. He sounded so clear. Janine wants to know, will LB come in the war room? Yes. So one of the things about LB is that he is not very technologically advanced. And so getting him to record the podcast, getting him to get on Skype, these are not easy things for LB. So yes, I would love to get him in the war room. I'd love to get him in here in person, but that's kind of hard right now because he's not very mobile. But if I can figure out a way to get Skype to him and him on Skype so he can hang out with us in the war room, I will totally make that happen. I have not listened to the last podcast yet. What happened? It's LB. And he is, for the most part, I guess, sober. He talks about every once in a while he'll have a glass of wine with Annie, but that he did go to treatment. And Paula says it was just nice hearing his voice. It was awesome. Exactly. Richard Fitz says, so good to hear his voice and a noticeable difference where he's at in his head. 100%. Now, he is still having his difficulties. The other thing that I thought was really interesting and totally noticeable with LB is that if you listen to him on the Hillman Morning Show all those years, LB had this presence that he was indestructible, that he was just untouchable in a way. And there's a certain amount of him right now, I feel like, that, I don't know if humbled is the right word, but he's just so grounded and so grateful and self-aware and understanding that he needs people, which I am the first one to say is incredibly hard to deal with when you understand that you need to rely on other people for help. When you're somebody that's independent and doesn't like to ask for help. And that's how LB always was. And I don't know if it came across to you guys, but especially when he was talking about Annie and Will and talking about things in his life, he just seemed like he was at peace with himself and had kind of forgiven himself for his past indiscretions and, his sins from his past. And just, Joshua says, yes, humbled. Exactly. He's no longer bigger than life. He's mortal like the rest of us, says Michael. Exactly. That I felt like really came through with him in the podcast. And he just seems so grateful for the little things now. And a lot of people say that when you tackle an illness, I've heard cancer patients say getting cancer was the best thing that ever happened to me. Like, I've heard people say these things because you realize what's important. And obviously, me getting laid off is not the same thing as surviving cancer or anything, but I can understand the concept of being knocked down and having to ask for help and accepting the fact that you're not untouchable and that you're vulnerable, and then to accept that help and to be gracious about it and thankful about it. And then to realize there's really no shame in asking for that help in the first place. You get to a different point in your life. And I talk to you guys about it all the time because of how grateful I am for all of your support. And Josh said, yeah, he seemed happy. Exactly. He just seemed at peace and grateful for the little things. And it was really nice to hear him that way. And it's something that I think we could all have a little bit more of, is that right now, so many of us are focusing on what we can't do, that we can't go to concerts and we can't go out to eat and we can't go to parties and we can't do all the things that we love to do, but focusing on what's important I think is a really good thing. And he just seemed like he was at that place. And I think that, I don't say these words often that we could all learn a thing or two from LB. But in this instance, with that interview, in this podcast episode, I feel like there is something that we can learn from LB. And so there you go. I'm so glad that you guys liked it. I'm glad that you guys were so happy to hear from him. I know that he was super excited to, have everybody know how he was doing and to hear that he's doing well. So LB is a boob, our double D lovable boob, says Erin. Yeah, exactly. We love him, but he's a boob. Okay. On the same line, in the same vein of the conversation that we're having, I want to tell you guys who was on the podcast this week. And it's somebody else that has definitely tackled their past and is in a place that I don't think they ever thought they would be in. And so I'm super excited to tell you guys that episode 27 of the Mistress Carrie podcast features the one and only Lenny Clark. Lenny Clark has been through it all, and he talks about a lot of it in the podcast. Lenny, when I was an intern and on the street team back when I was huffing bumper stickers, Lenny was this big, bombastic, riding high, snorting coke, drunk all the time, life of the party. And when him and LB got together, look out. It was like the Wonder Twins from hell. Lenny's been sober for like 24 years now. The crazy thing about Lenny, which was in the news, and you probably know if you follow any of his stuff online, earlier this year, in the height of COVID, Lenny had a stroke, a scary, life-flighted to Mass General stroke. And we talked a lot about that in the interview. And what that was like for him and recovering from it. And I'm just going to put this disclaimer out there that this episode might encourage you to exercise, because Lenny Clark is 68 years old and he's got a six-pack and he is in the best shape of his life. And if you go on his Facebook page, he puts up short workout videos every day of him doing battle ropes and chopping wood and flipping tires and riding a bike and exercising to the point where he is in better shape now at 68 years old than he was when he was 38. I mean, he told me in the interview that he was almost 400 pounds at one point. And Mark says, my aunt took care of him. I'm telling you, it's a really candid interview. It's personal in a lot of ways for Lenny, but in total Lenny style. I also asked him about the heyday of his partying years, what it was like to go in the height of the party scene at the Playboy Mansion, what it was like to hang out with Eddie Van Halen and Ted Nugent and John Bon Jovi. I mean, he talks about a lot of stuff in this episode, and it's super fun. And I think you're going to love it. It was so nice to connect with him. You do hear this in the pod. I don't want to tell you too much because obviously then you won't listen to the podcast, but I will tell you just as an aside that when everything happened with WAAF, Lenny Clark was one of the first people that I heard from. He didn't send me a text. He didn't send me a tweet. He didn't slide into my DMs. He called me and was like, how are you? Are you okay? Can I do anything for you? Wherever you go and wherever you end up, I'll be there to help you. And when you are in crisis, having somebody say those things to you means the world. And, Lenny and I have always been friends. I just didn't realize that we were those kind of friends that he thought so highly of me to reach out to me in that way. And he promised back then, whatever I was going to end up doing, that he would do it. If you end up back on the radio, I'm going to go wherever. I don't care what kind of fucking music it is. That's my Lenny Clark impression, by the way. Then I talked to him a few months later when I was doing the War Room and putting the podcast together. And he was like, you let me know and I'll come on. So as soon as I was ready and texted him and said, you want to come on the podcast? He was like, yep. How do I do it? again, the similarities with LB and his technological issues, there are many technological issues when it comes to Lenny Clark. He's not good at it at all. I will tell you guys this quick story. So I record the podcast in a couple of different ways in MCHQ. I obviously have the ability to record people live in person. I have the ability to talk to people over the phone. And then I use this service that works like Zoom, but it works like Zoom, but it's not Zoom because Zoom's audio sucks. So I use a different system that records broadcast quality audio because I want the audio of the podcast to sound really good. So what I do is I set up a recording session. It's called Squadcast. So I set up a recording session. It sends a link via email to the person that I'm going to have on the show. All they have to do is click it, configure what motor, the microphone, the headphones, the camera, just like you would do for Zoom or anything like that. So Lenny was having a hard time. And I was like, Lenny, take the link and copy it and paste the URL into Chrome, just like paste it up there. And he's like, how do you copy and paste? I'm not kidding. And he's like, what the fuck is a URL? And we're on the phone at like 11 o'clock at night. And the interview was the next day. So he wanted to make sure that he understood how this was all going to work. And so I'm taking pictures with my cell phone, pointing to the navigation bar where the URL goes. And I'm like, Lenny, I'm in the session right now. This is what the screen looks like, whatever. And then all of a sudden he clicked on it and he shows up in the session. And he wasn't expecting me to be there to be able to see him, even though he configured the camera. And he was like in his bedroom, shirtless. And he was like, Jesus fucking Christ, mistress, what are you doing? And I was like, oh my God, this is what it looks like to be one of those cam girls. Like one of those porno girls on the internet. Like this is what they see. They see the gray-haired, shirtless guy on the other end of the computer in their bedroom, like, that's what I was looking at. And Lenny was like, holy shit. Okay, it works. All right, awesome. I'll see you later. I don't know if he had pants on. I have no idea. He had a shirt on the next day when we recorded the podcast. But the night that we were testing the cameras, no shirt, shirtless Lenny. And I got to tell you, he's fucking ripped. It's unbelievable how jacked he is. It's unreal. So that's who's going to be on the podcast this week. And now when you listen to the episode and we joke about how he is technologically disadvantaged, you will just imagine Lenny in his bedroom shirtless on a webcam, because that's what happened. So there you go. If you're also a fan of stand-up comedy, especially Boston stand-up comics, we had a great conversation about that stuff as well. So lots of stuff to hear from Lenny, whom I love. So one of the things you also get to catch you up, if you listen to Lenny Clark, maybe that's the first podcast episode. If you subscribe to the Mistress Carrie podcast, you also get the Sit Reps every weekday, which is all of your rock news, your music headlines, and entertainment updates in under 5 minutes every weekday. And there's always stuff in there about concerts, and there's just a ton of stuff in there. And it keeps you up to date with everything that's going on in a short amount of time. So if you're sitting at the drive-thru and you don't have a lot of time, you can listen to the Sit Rep and kind of get caught up on everything that's going on. Here are all of the places that you can listen to the podcast, and this is going to expand very soon. Apple, Google, Spotify, radio.com, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Deezer, Overcast, TuneIn, Pandora, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Amazon, and then our friends in India at JioSaavn and Ghana. And of course, you can also access the podcast at mistresscarrie.com as well. 96 countries. I don't know who's in Pakistan listening to the Mistress Carrie podcast, but welcome to the Mistress Carrie podcast. Pakistan, 96 countries and growing. And it took the LB episode for Pakistan to jump on board. So are they ice hockey fans? Like, who in Pakistan is now listening to the Mistress Carrie podcast? I don't know. Not going to lie, I peed a little, says Eric. Oh my God. All right, some music headlines I want to run down for you guys. I want to remind you about the Primus live stream. These concerts, all by the way, are up on the events calendar on the website with links to get the tickets. So now I don't even have to give you all of the information in the War Room anymore because I can just tell you, hey, go to the calendar and all the links are there. But Primus is coming up on December 11th. The Trans-Siberian Orchestra have never done a live stream concert before, and they are doing it to help you get into the holiday spirit on Friday night, December 18th at 8 p.m. It's going to be a 90-minute live stream concert. And then this one got announced today, Joyous Wolf, who is a fantastic newer band. If you guys have not heard of them yet, they're doing live at the Whiskey A Go-Go on December 19th at 7 p.m. And that is also up on the website as well. So check out some live concerts in the comfort of your own home. The reason for the good Crown Royal tonight and the reason why I needed a Coke is that Crown and Coke is also a Blacktooth Grin, which is what I'm drinking tonight, which is why I dug out, I can't believe it's been 16 years, but I dug out my Dimebag Darrell tribute shirt that we made at WAAF tonight because on this date in 1980, I cannot believe John Lennon was killed 40 years ago tonight. I don't know about you guys, but I remember exactly where I was. I was shopping at a store with my mom. It was a Monday. And my mom's friend came with us. My dad didn't go because it was Monday Night Football and the Patriots were playing the Dolphins. And so my dad stayed home to watch football. And so my mom went shopping and took me and went with her friend. And there's very famous video of Howard Cosell announcing at the end of the third quarter of the football game that John Lennon had been confirmed killed. I remember being in the store. It was like a department store with my mom, and they made the announcement over the loudspeaker in the store that John Lennon had been killed. And I was a little kid. And I remember my mom and her best friend at the time started crying immediately. And I remember asking my mom why she was so sad because she didn't know him. And it was one of those things, one of those memories from your childhood that stick with you because I thought it was so strange that my mom was so upset that someone had died that she didn't even know. Obviously, as I grew up, the Beatles were the soundtrack of my childhood and the music that got me into loving music the way that I do now. And unfortunately, over the years, we have lost so many musicians that we love. And now, obviously, as an adult, I understand. Even if I didn't know the musician, we have their music and what their music meant to us in those times of personal struggle or triumph, or all of the things that music for all of us is always there for. That music is part of your life. It's part of your soul. It's part of your memories. And to lose that artist is like losing a part of yourself. And I learned that lesson 40 years ago tonight with my mom in a department store when they announced over the loudspeaker that John Lennon had died. I can't believe that 16 years later, 16 years ago, I should say, we lost Dimebag Darrell. I can't believe it was 2004. And I remember being at home and my phone started ringing because, like we've talked about in the podcast so many times, guys that work on crews, they hop from tour to tour. And so a lot of the people that I knew, now this is 16 years ago. This is before Twitter. This is before social media telling everybody exactly what was going on immediately. My phone started ringing late night. And I was up the whole night just talking on the phone to people, trying to find out what was going on. And I went to the radio station the next day. And this is the closest that I ever came to getting fired or suspended at WAAF, actually. I don't even know if I ever told you guys the story. But I was on the air middays. And there was a guy that was doing middays at WRKO, who the radio station, same parent company, owned them. They were down the hall. And it was back when we used to get a lot of faxes from you guys. And I started getting faxes from somebody who was at work and their boss made them listen to RKO. And this person was an AAF listener, but stuck at work listening to RKO with their boss, and sent me a fax saying that the guy that was on the air at RKO had gone on the air asking why he had to have sympathy that a guy named Dimebag had been killed, and said something to the effect of, it's too bad that the gunman couldn't get some more shots off before the cop got to him, who, by the way, his name is Officer Niggemeyer. He was the hero that night at the Alarosa in Ohio. He was the cop that showed up by himself, went in the back door of a dark club filled with screaming people, and took care of the gunman with one shot out of a shotgun while he was holding a hostage. He's an absolute hero and saved countless lives in the club that night. But the guy that was on the air at RKO at the time, who obviously is not there anymore, left years ago. He said that, and I got instantly pissed, and I was so emotional because Damageplan had just released that record, and Dime and the band had spent so much time at WAAF. They hung out in the studio. We did the album release party. They were at Local Bazooka just a couple months before. So we had spent a lot of time together, and I got instantly furious. And I have a really long fuse, but when it's gone, they're not stopping the powder keg. The Sicilian and Portuguese comes out in me, and it ain't stopping. I was hysterically crying because I had been on the air talking about what had happened, and people were calling and upset. And so I looked like King Diamond or like Alice Cooper because all my makeup was running down my face. And I waited until his show was over, the guy at RKO, at noon, and I kicked the studio door open with my crazy crying makeup face, and I started screaming at him. And he ducked under the counter and was screaming for his producer to call the police. And I was screaming at him because who the fuck would go on the radio and say it's too bad the gunman didn't kill more people because it was metalheads at the show, and that he didn't feel bad that the guy that had been murdered in cold blood in front of a room full of innocent people because his name was Dimebag, even though he was an amazing guy and was feet away from his brother. So anyway, he went and screaming at the general manager of RKO that he wanted me suspended for threatening him because I threatened to kill him. Sorry. And as soon as I walked out of the studio, I went to my general manager's office and I was like, that is fucked up what he just did. And so I'm with my general manager. He was with his general manager. And then his general manager came into my general manager's office and was like, I want her suspended. And she, our old GM, Julie, was like, well, she should never have threatened to kill him. But he did, in fact, go on the radio and violate the company's handbook on hate speech. So they're either both getting suspended or neither one of them are getting suspended. And then she closed the door to her office and she looked at me and she said, Carrie, and I was laughing at this point because this guy was such a fucking pussy that he wanted the cops called because I was scaring him. And she was like, Carrie, I think you need to understand something about yourself that I don't think you do. You can be very scary. I'm sorry. You can be very scary when you get mad. And if you looked at yourself in the mirror right now and saw the way that your makeup is and saw yourself, and then imagine someone that doesn't know you and you barging into their studio, screaming at them and threatening to kill them. Yeah, he was afraid for his life. And then it became an office joke because everybody heard about it and they were like, he really cowered under the console. He was really calling for the producers to call the cops. And it was like, oh yeah, Carrie was going to kill him. So I definitely got some cred in the office because of it, but I was really upset. It was just so fucked up. And when you think about where the world has gone, especially in the United States with mass shootings, and you go back and you think about, the person who committed that act 16 years ago, he wasn't there anonymously shooting people, trying to drive up a body count for fame or whatever reason a mass shooter would do something like that. He went in there purposefully seeking out the Abbott brothers. And it just so happened that there were some very innocent bystanders that got hurt along the way. And obviously everybody knows, Vinnie Paul was never the same. Kat, the drum tech, was the one that had been taken hostage, and he was shot. There were people in the crowd that got killed, including someone that was at the concert that was a paramedic that jumped on the stage to try and render aid to Dimebag and was killed. It was a horrific scene. And there's an article up in Rolling Stone right now because it changed concert security in a major way, especially with how the artists handle dealing with the public, because this was supposedly a fan, the same way that John Lennon supposedly was killed by a fan. And so the fact that they both happened on the same day is just an incredibly sad day in music in general. And so I want that picture that's up there on the screen. I went to Dallas with my my then boyfriend last year, and we were with a bunch of people, and we were all on motorcycles. And one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to go and see Vinny and Dime. And so I said, I know where the cemetery is. Can we just take all the bikes? So a pack of us on Harleys roll into the cemetery. And they, when you go to a cemetery, you go to Arlington, you can download an app that helps you navigate the cemetery. But when you went to this cemetery, it's not as easy to kind of figure out where you're going. And I didn't know where their final resting place was. And I was like, you know what? Let's just go in the cemetery and we'll just figure it out. And we all rolled into the cemetery. And all of a sudden I look over and there's 5 dudes in all black with hoodies and chain wallets and tattoos. And I was like, that's where we're going, because that's got to be where Vinny and Dime are. And that's exactly what happened. So we all went there, and that's a picture of me drinking a little Crown and giving some to the boys as well. And what's funny is that while we were there, another group of metalheads used us as a navigation tool to be able to find the graves, to be able to go and pay their respects as well. So I wanted to put that picture up there so that you could see the Abbott brothers reunited. And if you go to Dallas or the surrounding areas, it's definitely worth going to see the boys. So I wanted to make a black tooth tonight, and I wanted to cheers Dime with my shirt on and with all of you guys, because he was an amazing guy that gave me so many memories and was just so gracious and definitely rough around the edges. I told you guys the story about him meeting my mom at Local Bazooka that year in the War Room months ago, but I'll tell you again that my mom wanted backstage passes to Local Bazooka, so I gave them to her, and I introduced my mom to Dimebag Darrell, and it was the weirdest. Like, Dime, this is my mom. Mom, this is Dimebag Darrell, and she asked him if she should call him Mr. Bag. And he was like, "You're Mistress Carrie's mama. You can call me whatever you want." So to Dime, cheers, guys. Get your pull. Smile with your black tooth grin. To the boys who definitely lived they squeezed every drop out of every juice out of the fruit. I mean, those guys lived every day. Mr. Bag, yeah. Do I call you Darrell or Mr. Bag? What do I call you? And that conversation, that's one for the memory banks up there. So there you go. Okay. A couple things. I want to remind you guys about some Mistress Carrie deals as you guys are starting to get closer to the holidays. You get 15% off of everything that you buy at Spartan Brews Coffee Company, which is veteran owned and operated. And they're also donating $5 from the sale of every one of their purple Mistress Carry micro fleeces to Mass Military Support Foundation. And they texted me the other day and said that they're getting ready to total up the donation for the pullovers that they sold. And then they're going to send me a check so that I can deliver it to Don Cox and everybody at Mass Military Support. So if you like coffee or coffee paraphernalia and you want to support a veteran-owned company, if you use the coupon Mistress15, you get 15% off of everything there. Also, I want to thank the CBD Relief Clinic because they have also offered 15% off of everything you buy if you use the code Mistress15. The CBD Relief Clinic, everything ships straight out of New Hampshire. They are family owned and operated, and they are diehard AAF fans from years back. Everything's made in the USA, USDA organic, FDA registered in the facility where everything is produced. It's an FDA registered facility, and everything that they sell is also third-party lab tested. And if you order anything at cbdreliefclinic.com, it ships right out of New Hampshire, and you get 15% off if you use Mistress15. So I can tell you that Wednesday's Best Pal Zero, who is a little older and moving a little slower, is on the dog stuff. It's bacon flavored, and she's amazing. So there you go. So thanks to the CBD Relief Clinic for hooking you guys up with a deal. I love it when companies want to offer you guys deals because they know what a crew and a family that we have here in the War Room every Tuesday night. So I love it. And then also, as we get closer to the end of the year, if you are looking for not only a way to support a nonprofit, but maybe you're looking for a gift idea that, to give to somebody that has everything and you don't know what to get them. The Larkin Motors Foundation, which is run by veterans as well and benefits veterans, is raffling off that 2020 GMC Denali. They are selling 2,500 tickets at $100 a ticket. The proceeds benefit local veterans. And if you go to their website, larkinmotorsfoundation.org, you can see the programs. One of the programs that they have is that if there are veterans in need that are having vehicle issues, they help to pay for their vehicles because you can't go to work if you can't drive. And, with everything going on and everybody being so financially strapped, it would be very easy to lose your job if you have no reliable transportation. So you can win this fully upgraded truck, which all of the upgrades are over here. And you also get $30,000 in cash if you win the truck as well. So you can go to their website, which is larkinmotorsfoundation.org, and you can buy one of the raffle tickets or you can give it to somebody. But because you're buying it from a nonprofit, the $100 raffle ticket is a tax deduction. So with a few weeks left in the year, if you're trying to make sure that you donated enough money to charity to make sure that your taxes are going to square out, this is a great way to do it. It's veterans helping veterans. There's a chance you could win an unbelievable truck and $30,000 in your pocket. And even if you don't win, it's $100 that is going to a great organization and it's a tax write-off. So go to larkinmotorsfoundation.org. You can see more pictures and video of the truck, get more of the tech details for all the stuff that I don't understand, see more pictures, get more details on the foundation. But I thought it was really cool. And so there you go. Go get your raffle tickets. The mail call we already kind of talked about. The only thing that came in the mail this week was this yummy, smelly bumper stickers that came in this week, which are going in the sticker packs, which you can get on the website at mistresscarry.com. If today is your birthday, holy fucking shit, you have the greatest birthday on the planet. Seriously, you have an unbelievable birthday. Sammy Davis Jr., Jim Morrison, Greg Allman, Phil Collin from Def Leppard, Marty Friedman, and Corey motherfucking Taylor all were born on this date. So while it's a sad anniversary date in rock and roll, it's also a fantastic birthday date if today is your birthday. So Happy birthday. You guys are talking about the WHO, not the WHO, but the WHO, the HU guys, the Mongolian dudes. Their Metallica cover is unbelievable. I see you guys talking about it. It's so good. If you guys have not listened to the WHO, just go and Google them. They are these Mongolian guys. They do this Mongolian throat singing and they play these traditional Mongolian string instruments. They're heavy as fuck and they're awesome. It's kind of like Apocalyptica, where there's no guitars in it, but it's still super heavy. But it's just, it's so different and they're really, really cool. So go and check out the WHO. But anyway, these are all the birthdays. So I also want to thank everybody with Mistress Carrie Backstage Passes. I've talked a lot about the Backstage Passes tonight and how important the Backstage Pass holders have been with me bouncing ideas off of them. Things that should be up on the website. They combed over the dictionary that's up on the website in my blog to make sure that all the terms were right. And they've just been amazing. So if you're looking for something to give to somebody this holiday season and you don't really know what to get them, you could get them a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass. And all the Backstage Pass holders, they get 15% off of everything in the store at mistresscarrie.com just for having a Backstage Pass. And they are going to get benefits just for having those passes that there's so many things that we're going to do. It's just, there's only certain things that we're capable of right now. But as the world hopefully starts, as the pendulum swings back around and the world becomes fun again, we're creating quite a little community with the Backstage Passes. So if you go to patreon.com/Mistress Carrie, you can get a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass. Or if you go to mistresscarrie.com, there's a button up in the top right-hand corner that you can click as well. I will just show you and remind you of all the places that you can find me on social, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Cameo, especially the YouTube channel, because for the love of God, go back and watch these old War Room episodes because I have been painstakingly putting them up there, but they're all up there on the YouTube channel now. So go digging around on the YouTube channel. If there's an episode that you remember, or you want to go and track it down and share it, it's just way easier to do that on the YouTube channel. And then obviously on Patreon as well. Oh, wait, it says Mistress Carrie coming soon. No, it's not coming soon anymore. It's there. I love that I can change this stuff in real time. There you go. mistresscarrie.com. It's official. It's now a thing. So there you go. Let's see. What are you guys talking about? Men throat singing. It's Mongolian throat singing. It sounds almost like a didgeridoo, kind of there. It's very, you can't describe it. You just have to go and listen to the WHO and you'll know what I'm talking about. Donna says, happy early birthday, Gigi. Yes, we want to wish one of our youngest members of the War Room family a happy birthday. So happy birthday, Gigi. I don't know if you're supposed to still be up. It's late. Let's see. Okay, call me blonde because, but the blueberry cobbler is over my head and below my feet. I guess I got to take it slow. Betty, go to mistresscarrie.com, go to the blog, read the dictionary, and the blueberry cobbler reference is in there, which is also the reference that is now on the Cocktails in the War Room t-shirts. It says, I'm just here for the blueberry cobbler. And what's amazing is when you guys start wearing these War Room t-shirts around, people are either going to know what that means or they're going to have no fucking idea what that means. And that's what I love about the back of the shirt, because when you bump into people that know about blueberry cobbler, it's funny. You're going to spot these shirts from down the mall and be like, oh my God, that guy's wearing a blueberry cobbler shirt. But then for people that don't know, you could just be behind, like somebody could be behind you at the supermarket. And if they don't know, they're not even in on the joke. And it's completely innocuous and innocent to them. I'm just here for the blueberry cobbler. What is that? I love blueberry cobbler. What does that even mean? We know. And it's funny as fuck. So funny. So That's why we wanted to put it on the back of the shirt. So I can't wait to see you guys start wearing these shirts out in public. So there you go. Which podcast describes the blueberry cobbler? Send them here. I don't remember which episode it is, but I love the fact that now on the YouTube channel, they are all dated and numbered and you guys can share them. So they're all up there for posterity's sake, for better or worse. You know what I realized? Not only can you chart the level of purple in my hair, which is hilarious, but I've cried so many times in here with you guys. It's kind of ridiculous how many times I've cried in here with the War Room, but you guys are always amazing. What aisle is the blueberry cobbler in? It's in the store. It's on the website. Yes. It's been repeated story, still working on it. It's up there. If somebody knows what day I told you guys the blueberry cobbler story, like we can always reference the actual episode number. That's one thing we didn't do because none of us knew that this happy accident of the War Room was going to turn into a thing. We never really wrote down, like I wrote down things I wanted to talk to you about, but we never wrote down and kept track of like what we actually talked about in the episodes. So I don't know. I just know the dates and I mean, some of the episodes are super long, so I don't know everything that we talked about. I just know now that they're all on YouTube, and it makes me so happy that they're all categorized and dated, and they're all out there. So, and the YouTube channel is linked right off the website as well. The producer Mike episode, well, he was on the podcast. So if you go back and listen to the Mike Saya AAF to Afghanistan recap podcast episode, we get into detail. Actually, he gave me this candle that I keep in the War Room the day he was on the podcast. I'm talking about the War Room episode where I originally told you guys the story. I don't remember which War Room episode it was, but I'm sure somebody will figure it out. The Cheez-It stuff is up there on the dictionary. Is it in the journal? No, because Paula, all that was in the journal was the stuff that I wanted to talk to you guys about. I never planned on telling you the blueberry cobbler story. I just had a couple too many cocktails with you guys, and then it came out. So I didn't write it down in the journal, which I still have, by the way. So I don't know. I don't know which episode it is. But the dictionary's up on the website to fill you in on all the terms from the War Room. And then, obviously, the blueberry cobbler War Room t-shirts and the hoodies, which are a little Mistress Carrie and a little War Room with purple flames. Those are up on the website. It's all up there now. Whew. The end of the show, much better than the beginning of the show. Thank you guys for sticking with me. I'm sorry I'm late. Bag of Dicks is in the dictionary. That's why we named it the dictionary. Probably one of the cell phone episodes. Oh, Joe, it's definitely in the first 80. I just don't remember which one in the first 80. And you can see the production value. There's like the first like 30 something episodes. And then there's the tripod era. So there's like the phone era, the tripod era, and then where we've evolved to now. So there you go. Never apologize. Still the Mo drink story. So much stuff going on. All right, guys. That's it. You guys are good. We're done. I have no idea where Wednesday is, but once again, I have to put, you know what? I don't know if the dick pig is in the dictionary. The dirty dick pig. I know that the ducking stingray is in there, but I don't know if the pig is in there. I might have to put that in the dictionary. If you guys come up with anything else that I forgot, let me know. Is made by a company called Beaver. Wait, David, are you serious? Oh my God. The blueberry cobbler candle is made by a company called Beaver. I didn't even notice that. My brain sometimes. All right, guys. Good night. I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your night. Have fun in the store. Give the gift of Mistress Carrie this holiday season. And get yourself a backstage pass because there's cool stuff coming. All right. I'll see you later. Good night, everybody.